Hey guys, it's Courtney King with King Realty. I wanted to hop on today and tackle an investor topic. I don't know if you guys have seen from my posts, but we're all over the place. So we've got a lot of rentals that we have listed right now. We've got some homes for sale, one in Garland, one in Keller. And so as I kind of continue to move forward on the whole social media platform, on Facebook and our other platforms, I am mindful that I kind of hit everybody a little bit. Coming soon in the near future, we will have some individual groups based on your interest. So if you are only interested in investment related topics, then you can join that group and we'll make sure that all of those items are strictly investor related. And then same thing if you're a home buyer or seller, those type of different groups. So keep an eye out for that. But today we're talking about some best practices when it comes to entering a occupied property. So let's take a little step back real quick. Why would anybody want to go into their rental property? Particularly when a property is occupied, you may want to do a walkthrough to make sure that the tenant is taking care of the property. You may have a maintenance request that needs to be taken care of. If you're self-managing your property, you may need to get in there to fulfill whatever request the tenant has from a maintenance standpoint. Or maybe they're not paying rent or they're MIA and you just kind of want to check to see what's going on because the tenant hasn't been responsive. Those are a couple of the reasons why you would want to go into a rental property. And I realize, especially for my out-of-state clients that we manage their property, sometimes they're like, well, Courtney, just go in the property. And I'm like, whoa. There's different protocols and procedures. Number one, I don't know if you knew this, but Texas is a very pro-landlord state, meaning a lot of the property code, a lot of the lease agreements and stuff like that are very pro-landlord. If you have a property and you've used a Texas Association of Realtors lease, there are some provisions automatically in that lease that talk about that you as a landlord can enter the property at reasonable hours with or without notice. And so that's very pro-landlord, basically just giving you the authority to do so, to go in at any point in time. Now I caution people, okay? So in what we do, we maintain a fine line of respect for the tenant and their property, as well as, making sure that we respond to what our clients request of us, and our clients are the property owners. So best practices. Number one, you definitely want to communicate with your tenant, okay? All the time when we have to get into rental properties, we give our tenant a minimum of a 24-hour notice, usually via email or via text. We give them some sort of written notice that we will enter the property within those 24 hours, or if we give them a longer notice period, then we'll specify the date and time that we'll go into the property, okay? If they are at home, great. We actually prefer that. Because if we're keeping liability or potential liability in the back of our minds, I don't want to just enter somebody's property or have somebody from my team or have a vendor enter a property that is occupied and nobody's there, because somebody could say, well, for example, the tenant could say, well, this diamond ring is missing, or this is missing, or somebody stole it. So I never want to expose my team, my company, or our clients to that potential liability. So best practice is to give them at least a 24-hour notice, but enter in the property when they're there to let you in, okay? I realize though that in certain circumstances, especially emergency maintenance situations, somebody may not be able to be there. So in that case, somebody from my team along with the contractor can go to the property, open the property up and enter it and monitor what's going on. If we do that, we always get written permission from the tenant to enter the property, okay? Again, it's just a courtesy and a respect. I know we don't necessarily have to have written permission, but if you want to operate and have a positive relationship with your tenant, it's a really good idea for you to maintain those lines of communication so that they understand what's happening, why it's happening, and that they feel comfortable. I've had tenants say, you know what, I'm not going to be home. I prefer to be home. Can we reschedule for another day? 9 times out of 10, it's not anything urgent. So yeah, we'll reschedule. Because again, it's not about just being up in their Kool-Aid and knowing every single thing that they're doing in the property. But the purpose to get into the property is to maybe do a walkthrough to understand how they're maintaining the property, or to do preventative maintenance or satisfy maintenance requests. And so I think when you keep those purposes at the forefront, you'll feel comfortable, the tenant feels comfortable, and the relationship continues on a positive note. Last but not least, I don't know if y'all know, we are in Texas. People love guns in Texas. So that's kind of my next major point. It's not a good idea just to enter a property without giving notice, because if the tenant does not know that you're coming or does not know that you're sending somebody over there, they could think that it's an intruder. And if they have a gun, they could potentially shoot somebody because they didn't know that either the landlord or somebody was entering to the property. If you don't get anything else out of this video, please take that, because that is real. And it's not only about making sure your asset is being maintained and preserved and all of that good stuff, but it's also about your safety and the tenant's safety. And I know nobody's trying to go to jail. So, or get hurt or get shot. So these are just a couple of few best practices that we use on a daily basis when we're interacting with our tenant. If you are a landlord or an investor and you have questions about this, please comment below. Or if you have any other best practices that maybe I didn't touch on when it comes to entering a rental property, by all means, comment below. I always like to hear what other people are doing, and also share kind of what we're doing. So I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, and more content coming soon. See you later.